Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Good evening, folks. I'm Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. If you missed tonight's Stupid O'Clock, it was excellent as always. A lot of people showed up. Everything was going really, really well. We had some excellent comments from the viewers and provoked several of the usual conversations where started off really well, and then we went out into left field and might not have actually ever gotten back to the original topic, but the new topics that were brought up were extraordinarily entertaining. And I have to regretfully announce that Aunt Donna and Dawn will not be with us tonight, but we do have Joe Bachman, we've got Richie, and we have Chris in a rare appearance of someone who is awake in the early morning hours rather than going, I've got too much horse sense for this, I'm going to bed. Here we are, gentlemen. Can we function without the female influences that we normally have at this time of night?
Yeah.
We can dysfunction.
Yeah,
well,
we
I'm
can
good at that.
really well. I'm starting to. I'm just sitting here going, like Aunt Donna is a calming influence on us. No.
No, she's a pleasant distraction, but
Yeah, and
we might be able to focus a little bit.
Focus.
I said might. I didn't say we would.
That'll be the day. Our usual scatterbrain stuff is bound to happen. Now we had a couple of new commenters on Stupid O'Clock, and welcome input, let me say. But oh, and now StreamYard is telling me it's time to start the show at 5 minutes in.
just a slight delay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all were discussing something that was kind of sensitive and not a laughing matter, and I was chuckling over. I believe it was Jim Ledbetter's comment about right after he typed 1977, he typed the year I gave up hookers.
One merely takes a break. One doesn't give them up. Sooner or later.
I'm just telling you what he typed.
So why did he, give up people who crochet?
Don't know. Don't know why he didn't like online stuff either, or lots of other things.
Sounded a little baity to me.
Yeah, but there's some people that just prefer the old-fashioned dead tree books, which, like I said, don't get me wrong, they are a great thing to have, but I like having options.
Well,
and at some point, you run out of space if you like books enough.
Tell me about it.
This library is a lot easier to move than if they were all in their paper and hardback varieties.
Mm-hmm.
I can carry one thing.
I would need a truck to be able to haul my library along without having any furniture loaded in the truck. Believe me, I can fill a moving van easily with physical books.
Now, since the Tempest was mentioned earlier,
do that again.
It was mentioned before Joe came on. That is what is supposed to be going on this coming Friday, is it?
Yep. This coming Friday at Twin Oaks Park in beautiful New Chicago, Indiana. Oh.
And what time to show up for doing the demo?
The pre-show is going to start around 5.
I will see what I can do as far as getting over there.
For those of us who were preoccupied during the original statement in the other show, can you please elaborate, gentlemen?
So New Chicago Parks Department has partnered with the Gary Shakespeare Company, and they are putting on The Tempest at our park.
Oh, wow.
And before the show...
So it's kind of funny that was mentioned, talking about Gilligan's Island and...
Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet.
So before the show, Nick and his wife, and Rich, if he can make it, my wife, Trelena, and myself, if I am off work in time, I have a feeling I'm going to be rolling up about the time it starts. We are doing a pre-show with the Historical Fencing Guild, doing some sword fights and things of that nature.
It's very odd that you should talk about the Tempest when just a few hours ago I had someone posting in my Facebook about an early this century, or maybe late last century, production of the Tempest, where some people that we would recognize were quite early in their careers. There was a mostly shall we say Patrick Stewart with hair and six-pack abs, which impressed my wife, and a half-naked Dame Judi Dench, who was probably less than 30 at the time. And I'm just going, I knew I had the hots for that woman for some reason. Hubba hubba.
I imagine that was a nice vision.
Oh,
In
good Lord. They
Helen
included
Mirren's early
photographs.
career, she did a lot of Shakespeare.
Well, that's the thing about being an actor in Great Britain. Shakespeare is the fallback and the basis of quite a few of their careers. This is what you got to do. This is what people learn your name from. And it not only informs people of who you are, but gives you the depth and the breadth to be able to show people what you can do. And from then on, you're either made or you're broken. So, hey, these folks were made and made household names, basically, because of their work in theater.
Yeah.
And that's
even
a
coming more modern.
wonderful thing.
David Tennant.
Yeah. Elaborate.
David Tennant was in several productions, but I think most notably he's known for Hamlet.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then, of course, we also have Arnold Schwarzenegger's Hamlet.
You might have it, but I don't have it.
It's part of Last Action Hero.
Oh, okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Hamlet.
Is this a dagger I see before me? Well, it's not a tumor.
Sorry, now I'm just hearing Robin Williams doing John Wayne. Is this a dagger I see before me?
Robin Williams also did John Houseman. Yes. The theater needs you, Mr. Williams. I'm going off to sell Volvos. Of course, Robin Williams did the accents a hell of a lot better than I could ever do. So.
Oh, yeah.
I used to actually do a creditable British accent. And then I married a British woman and found out how bad it was. So I had to give it up. Those were the days. Although I did find out when in England, if I used the area's slang, but did not try and shift my accent from Southern American, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And Lindsay was going, that little old lady at the checkout counter was trying to take you home. I'm going, what? The lady at the cash register? No, that's no. And they're going, yes. Ever since World War II, anybody with an American accent is dangerous among the female population of England. I'm dangerous among the female population of America. Because I'm nice. Not that it ever did me any good, but the possibilities are endless. The actualities are quite finite. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you, Chris. That was an editorial thing. Let's just. Motherfucker's talking about himself again. I'm leaving.
No, I didn't want to blow my nose on camera.
Oh.
I was trying to be polite myself.
A southern
Just a
gentleman.
different kind of politeness.
You had an attack of the vapors. Oh, well, actually, no.
No, I got a whiff of all that crap blooming outside.
I actually found out what an attack of the vapors is.
Oh.
That's when southern women had to fart.
Oh, God. So me being a smartass in my head was actually right.
Yes. That actually goes back to that.
Which explains why they fanned so far or so fast.
Well, there was a reel of this gal that they were showing when they were first on as a couple, and then later on about how she wouldn't fart in front of him, and then eventually when she did, he was gasping for air, rolling down the window, and I'm like, I started to post that somewhere where Joe McKeel could see it, but I'm like, no, I don't want to encourage him.
No, that's amateur hour for Joe Dog.
Well, plus I didn't want to encourage him. He'd be like, oh, you think that's bad?
Challenge accepted.
Actually,
it wasn't a challenge. He would just do it because he wanted to. There was no challenge involved.
Actually, last night in the green room, Joe Dog's dog actually pretty much
cleared the room.
If the dog had been an A10 warthog, it could not have had more effect.
Well,
bird.
The way that he had the dog cradled, I mean, it's just going to come straight up. It's not like he had the dog and pointed it away like a weapon, which I will actually do sometimes. If I know
that was a self-inflicted wound right there.
It served Joe Dog right for having the dog that position in the first place.
All right. Speaking of dogs, Bucky, my male. Oh, that little fucker this morning gave me a heart attack. I mean, I was damn near clutching my chest because of this little fucker. I walk out of my office, and we've got a cardboard moving box. You can't see it. I got another one behind me in here so that the dog can come in here. And we've got like some blankets in there so that they can lay in there. And we got a couple doggy beds sitting just on the other side of it. So he and his sister were laying in the doggy beds. I walk up, and normally if I walk up, he immediately looks up, you know, like, hey, Dad, what are you going to do? Are you going to use scritchies? You're going to try to pick me up? What the hell's going to go on here? But he didn't do anything. Bella looked up, and I'm like, Bucky, didn't move. I couldn't see his chest moving. I started to freak. I rub his paw, no reaction. I nudge him with my foot, still no reaction. I'm screaming his name now. The people outside can hear me. And the windows are closed. So finally, I nudge him enough where he finally looks up at me, and I'm just like, "Oh, you little fucker." He was sleeping the sleep of the dead.
Yeah.
Literally.
He was sleeping the sleep I've been needing for the past 2 weeks. So, one, I'm mad that he gave me a heart attack, and two, I'm jealous.
Yeah, well, maybe it'll rub off and contact you before too much longer.
I wish.
Speaking of Joe and passing gas, Dan, you remember the hotel at the last Anachrocon, right?
Intimately, yes.
You know how outside they had that big open area with blackberry bushes and hedges and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm. And the car
Where,
show.
where they had the car show and all that. Well, Joe told you about that time where those stewardesses saved my life in that elevator. Because we were going down to the lobby level, and
It's always nice going down with a couple of stewardesses.
yes, well, unfortunately, it wasn't the way we would like to have gone down with them, but I digress. Once we got out, we went outside of he broke wind, and all that air, and all that vegetation, and all the smog from the airport and the traffic and all that, and I still could not escape the scent that he released. And I'm thinking, if he'd have done that on the elevator, I might not have lived.
Oh.
I kid you not. It was that bad, Rich. I mean, I was walking away fastly and I still couldn't escape it. I mean, I'm sure it cut down on some of the intensity, but my God.
And mosquitoes were falling out of the air.
It's a wonder it didn't kill the damn blackberries and shit.
Every dog in a 5-mile radius went, I don't know if I'd roll in that.
I'm surprised the people in the car show didn't fall over.
My father used to work HVAC. So he used to be both their service technician and one of their main installers. So he was doing an install job at that point in time. And Dad kept a lot of extra boxes handy. Because when you're in a construction site back then, they didn't bring porta potties by. So he kept a lot of extra small, like nail boxes and stuff like that. Not like the tiny ones that you pick up at Menards for like, $20, but like the huge contractor size boxes that nails used to come. So whenever nails and screws would go empty, he would keep them for makeshift toilets. So we were at a location that hadn't had plumbing installed yet or anything like that. So, Dad had to go. So he's in that back room, does his business in the box, takes it out, tosses it in the dumpster. No one should have ever been the wiser. The next day, people at the shop were getting contacted by carpenters who were still working on the house. And we're talking, it's not even have the Tyvek, pink and blue insulation board. That's not even up yet on the outside.
It's
so
just
I mean,
framework.
It's just it's 2x4s and particle board. They're coming in. They're like, "Did you know? Did something happen? This area of the house smells weird." The next day. So My dad's like, yeah, no, it was fine when we left. And my dad's just like, oh, God, please don't go over by the dumpster. And then, a couple days later, like, yeah, we kind of figured it out. We think some homeless person came by and shit in a box. And Dad's like, yeah, how'd you be a homeless guy?
That had access to asparagus.
Yeah, broccoli tends to bring out the methane too.
Oh,
That's another vegetable Joe's too fond of.
I'm quite fond of it myself, but I try and make sure that lunchtime at work, fine. Go to my lab. Oh, I need to step out to the facilities here. Double fast. Because it does come upon you without warning.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how Beano would affect the taste of pickled eggs.
I don't know.
Just take a bunch of Beano, crush it up real fine to a fine powder, mix it in with the brine. So Joe Dog thinks he's loading up on ammo, but he's actually...
Oh, that is such a wonderful
decompressing
idea.
early. Yeah.
That is such a wonderful idea, Rich.
He probably would be so frustrated. Now, if you're ever at a convention with Joe Dog and he sidles up to you with a wicked grin on his face, I recommend
Get the hell out of there
running
as
fast as you can.
Even then, it may be too late.
Usually by the time he grins, it's too late. That's post-production.
I wonder if I can find any. I wonder if they even still make them.
What?
The old White Rain pump hairspray bottles.
Uh-huh.
Take one of those instead of filling it with hairspray, fill it with Odoban. So if he comes up, sidling up like that, just spritz a bunch of that in the air.
Can it be any clear bottle that has a pump sprayer for spritzes and whatnot?
Yeah, I'm just thinking something, more compact than like a Windex bottle or something.
Well, yeah, because you can get, I think, Rave and Aussie, and you might even be able to find some White Rain at like a dollar store or something.
And that's what I'm thinking of, like, just a little 2-3 ounce little pump spray bottle.
Oh, well, I can
probably find them on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're going to need a 55-gallon drum with a 30 horsepower compressor hooked to it and a big spray nozzle.
Well, I'm just thinking of something to help you achieve escape velocity before it hits.
Yeah, and what Dan's suggesting might be a good starting point.
You really just need to learn the body language and be prepared to run.
Because I think the stuff he released that day at Anachrocon could have gotten SpaceX into orbit. It was that strong. And I don't even think about it.
There was a reason why the fire alarm was pulled 3 times that day.
Yeah, but the bad part was it was outside.
So you're saying, I should walk around with one of those on my back. Private jet.
Yeah, you could dress up like a Ghostbuster instead of
Yeah,
Ghostbuster. It'd be
and
Odin.
unlicensed nuclear accelerator. Yeah, that would come in handy.
I'll just be John Goodman from Arachnophobia.
Hey, I kid you not.
Big guy,
As-
looks like an exterminator,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
and then have the respirator mask just to be safe.
Yeah, that would have been necessary because Joe Dog actually did release that one time on that elevator at Mid South. You know, he told you
Oh
about
Lord,
kids
I
packing
remember
in.
that. I remember that story.
And then if you happen to know Gary Sheldon, which he does sarcasm quite well, and he's kind of like got that, you know, I could give a crap less. When he says, "Oh my God, that was you,"
That's the one where you guys could hear them screaming from 2 floors away.
yes,
Joe Dog walked out of the elevator, and several innocent people walked in. And by the time the doors closed, we could hear the awesome screams of agony.
oh my God, push any button, just get us off this damn thing. Ow. And like I said, Gary Sheldon, who's hardly flustered by anything, was like, "Oh my God, that was you."
And unfortunately, at that particular convention, at that time of night, most of the elevators were set to express. No pun intended. But they went from the absolute top floor to the lobby without stopping for anything,
I wonder how
including
many of them.
emergencies.
I wonder how many of them went to the bathroom and threw up.
I don't think many
Wonder
of
how
them
many
made
of
it
them
past
were
the
able to
lobby.
make it out of the elevator before throwing up.
Yeah.
There were a couple of elevators that were closed the entire weekend, and now we know why.
And now you know why I'm amazed Donna hasn't killed him yet. She has to live with him.
Well, perhaps the constant bombardment has allowed her to go nose blind to it.
Well, there's possibly some of that, and deep down, she must really love him.
Yeah, but the real
No,
question is, did it burn out the scent receptors, or is she just used to it?
So
Possibly a
I
combination
think
of
it's
both.
more of a case of I don't have an alibi today.
Well, she don't want to fool the paperwork either.
I Love You is sending shards of whipped cream pie. What was it, 35, 40 feet?
Oh my God, it was quite a distance because you know that
With
area.
perfectly accurate aim.
Yeah, did you kind of remember the layout of the big room, right, Dan?
Yep.
Okay, they're right there, just as that wooden area that Joe likes to call the dance floor starts.
Mm-hmm.
And it went from there all the way. There was some of it back behind the stage.
Yes.
That's at least a good 20, possibly 30 feet. And like I said, there were people that weren't necessarily the biggest Joe Dog fans that were like, "Are you okay, man?" And you know, seriously, we thought we were going to have to possibly get some medical attention. Because she unloaded 30-something years of frustration and annoyance.
In one, as we
Pie to the
say,
face.
fell swoop. Perfectly aimed.
And most of us were laughing after we found out he was all right.
I don't think we waited till we found out he was all right. It's just
Okay,
Donna
maybe
went
a third of us.
full on bull goose loony and smack, and that was funny enough as it is. Um,
I can just imagine how the EMS report would have to be written up.
I don't want to think about it because I'm usually the one that winds up taking somebody to the hospital if they have to go.
let's just say that OSHA would not be amused.
Death by
There were
Three
no
Stooges
warning
reenactment.
signs.
Yes, but that wasn't a workplace incident.
It was for the con staff.
Yeah, but that's not technically work.
Yeah, well, did we see anybody that worked at the hotel besides the desk clerk that was going, "Gets my shift over yet?"
Rich,
Oh,
I know there's still a lot of stuff up in the air, but I hope things get settled where you can come to Hallowcon this year. I really do.
I'm hoping myself. We're trying to get the last few things done and stuff, and then there was a drama attack, so I don't know how that's going to stall things out.
I,
and
I totally get it, but there is still time. So
in this context, I think stuff up in the air is still a bad word choice on your part, Chris.
well, Dan, if it hasn't reached the ground by now or totally dissipated, it's not
in
going
the
to.
ionosphere.
No, I think that shit's.
This is one cause of global warming right here.
No, it escaped. That hole in the ozone layer, it went through.
It might have caused the hole in the ozone layer for all
It
we
might
know.
have caused another small rip in it. Now, hopefully, the stuff coalesced back after it reached escape velocity. But
Rip in the space-time continuum. There are people in other timelines that are going, "Y'all gonna do this again, ain't you? You let John make pickled eggs. You actually went there."
seriously, John needs to be beaten for that stuff.
You before me. Uh,
John needs to be locked in an elevator with Joe Duck after a few of those.
Oh, yeah.
That alert him.
oh, you've met John X, haven't you? I mean, you've interacted with John. No, ain't nobody gonna teach that boy anything. Um,
Um,
oh
put
Lord,
put John with Joe after Joe's loaded up on that in an escape room.
there ain't no escape. We
Exactly.
welded the door shut.
Exactly.
Oh Lord, and we're being cruel. I know we are.
John's being cruel by making that stuff.
You tell him.
Tell them
You
it's the
know,
escape
He
room.
doesn't care. He's enjoying it. Wait
well, the
till he
thing
gets
is
to experience
with
it.
it with him being former military, isn't he supposed to follow some rules about chemical warfare?
Yes, he always has a gas mask handy. Um, oh Lord.
Tell them
Uh,
there's an escape room that's got 20 puzzles that you have to solve. Stop putting clues and things in there after puzzle 3.
And let Joe release his methane
Well,
upon him. afterwards.
With puzzles 4 through 20 not being there, so you can't solve the room to get out of the room.
Like I said, weld the door shut. Oh Lord, this is cruel. We shouldn't be doing this, but it's so accurate that
Well,
I
like I
don't see
said,
how we
it's
can.
cruel for John to want to unleash that upon us.
It's only cruel if we actually enact the plan. Otherwise, it's just good-natured ribbing.
Yep.
And if it ends up in court, words like premeditated get thrown around.
Yeah, really.
Again, if it was never enacted,
Yeah.
what premeditation?
Hey, we can't help it if somebody else decided to take up on our discussion.
And I don't know how. I don't know
Revenge
how.
plans on Fiverr.
I don't know how Donna wound up with a welder.
Source
Well, she
revenge plans
obviously
on
didn't know
Fiverr.
how to use it, so we're not responsible for what she did on her own accord.
Well, that might be a good thing. I'm just sitting here thinking, welder.
Igniting that welder during that
That episode, yes.
that release.
It's a wonder we still got hotels standing.
It's amazing the airport Hilton's still standing.
I can just hear Joe Dog's comments tomorrow about this when he watches it on the replay because he's going to. Oh Lord, now I can just imagine Carl's comments because he's going to watch this on the replay.
Accidentally igniting Joe Dog. He ends up 3 counties over.
3 counties. You
just
might
gotta
see a space. You might see an unscheduled SpaceX launch there.
Well, just think if he goes out on the patio.
Well, he's gonna find that manhole cover.
Hey, Dan, just imagine if he walks out on the patio where they're smoking and he accidentally passes wind while somebody lights up.
Hey, that somebody might be me.
Yeah, but you're more out on the back side, and he's more likely to go out the front side. Or vice versa.
Wow, somebody's
what
got
I'm
some
talking
really
about.
bad weed around here. What the hell is that going on?
Oh wow! And what was his name? John, the one that was commenting in Stupid Clock, is going, "Hey, is that weed you're smoking?" I go, "No, I buy these at the gas station."
Oh.
In the gas station, not the parking lot. Thank you. Oh Lord.
Yeah, we could rig up a jetpack on the back of Joe Dog and like, damn, we didn't think some bitch actually worked. I got Dan with that one.
I don't know how much rigging it would take. A little bit of duct tape and one of those long-handled fire lighters for a charcoal grill. And he's in orbit.
Oh Lord.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. The Chinese would declare war.
That's only if Joe wound up over there.
Coming next summer, Rocketeer 2024. Starring Joe Dog McKeel.
Besides, if Joe wound up over there, they'd be like, holy shit, he's shorter than we are.
I can't do
Hopefully not in more ways than
Joe
one.
Dog anymore. I can't do short jokes with Joe Dog anymore. I did one that was really horrendous, witty, but horrendous and cruel. And he just gave me that look.
I would say that, but here's the thing. TNT usually comes in smaller packages. And he's got enough methane to blow TNT out of the damn water. Just saying.
I just it was a great smart ass comment, and it got laughs, but it was cruel beyond belief, and I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have
Well,
said
mine
that
wasn't
even
so
if
much
we had
cruel
been
as it
in the
was
green
funny.
room at the time. I mean, this is why I'm trying to learn how to self-edit.
Most of the time I do a good job. Like I said, that was more funny than it was cruel-natured. But I will not persist along this line of commenting.
Well, gentlemen, I'm coming up on 20 hours of being awake, so I am going to go get some sleep.
Ah, well, good
Thank you
night.
for joining in, Joe.
And
Have a
yes,
great
thank
one,
you.
brother.
I will see you guys later this week.
All
All right. Take care. Sleep well.
Oh, I'm trying to script out a commercial to send to him for not only myself but another one for Aphelion,
Hmm.
so he could use either one. The trouble is, the ones that I've done so far are like minute and a half long,
Hmm.
and he and other people want half a minute, and I'm going.
30 seconds to a minute, yeah.
I can't even say my name in that length of time. I'm Southern. It takes a while.
It's entertaining.
I know, I know. I've had people comment at work at how laid back I am. I'm going, yeah. If I got any laid back, if I got any more laid back than what I am now, you'd be calling the ambulance to come and give me a check to see if my heart's still beating. Um,
Well, there's a guy I'm friends with at one point in time when he was younger. I'm like, if he gets any more laid back, he's going to forget to breathe.
oh, oh wow. Monday starts my 22nd to the last week of work. It keeps the number keeps decreasing. I'm reaching the target area,
Congratulations, Dan.
and I'm not even using the force. Stay on target. Stay on target. Uh, you okay back there, R2? I still don't know what they're going to do. The company, I mean, they they're either going to replace me or they're going to spread my job out over everybody else that does the quality tests. And I'm just standing there going, you think it's cheaper to give my work to them than to let somebody have my job and the job title? Um, Math doesn't work that way, gentlemen. You're going to spend a whole lot more money if you do my job when I walk out the door the last time. And then again, I sit here after I've said that and I go, why do I care? Whatever they do, they have to deal with. I've given them every opportunity to take advantage of my decades of experience. And it's pretty much, we don't want you to train anybody else. We want to train somebody our way. Your way don't work. Or, actually, your way isn't as honest as my way, which is why they don't want me to train anybody, because I'll train them to tell the truth. And they won't like that. When did honesty, integrity, and a good work ethic go out of style?
Long time ago.
Obviously.
When they started rewarding participation trophies after 10 years of age.
No, before that, because
Yeah.
that didn't happen till I was a little bit on the older side, and when I was still a kid, it started waning horribly, especially in the construction industry.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say these things, they happen, but they've had plenty of warning.
Yeah.
If they don't make preparations, I can't help them. And I have told them, if they call me in as a consultant, I'm going to be taking a note from Rockford Files, but I'm going to up the ante.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, Lord, yeah. It's not 1970s California anymore. Still, well, I worry about the people I work with getting screwed over, and there's nothing I can do. I'll be gone by that time. I will be solid gone. Just like Baloo in Jungle Book.
Yeah.
I will be dancing to the beat, and my feet will be beating a path out the gate.
Oh, and y'all probably discussed this before now, but sadly, we lost Tony Bennett.
Yes, yes. No, we have not discussed that. Matter of fact, uh, people of my age probably don't want to face that, because he was a major part of our childhood, because he was
He was
50
one of
years
those
younger
boomers.
then,
Yep.
and just in his prime, although his prime continued on until his dying day, basically.
Well, he
If
won a
you,
lot of younger fans by his collaborations with Lady Gaga.
yes, and I saw that, and that was, not only was it excellent, it was eye-opening, because I'd never been a fan of Lady Gaga until then, and I go, ooh, integrity. Didn't know you had that.
Well, and here's another thing about her. She's a lot more talented than some folks may give her credit for, just because she does the pop, stuff that's popular with 15-year-old girls.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean she can't do more
Classics.
traditional,
Mm-hmm.
more
And
traditionally done music, shall we say.
and she did an excellent job with the collaborations with him, and I'm just going, I've underestimated this artist, there's more to them than just the flash in the pan, just the popularity amongst the younger generations.
Well, did you hear her song "Shallow" she did off the last remake that was done of A Star Is Born?
No, I didn't.
You would
Her
be
and
impressed.
Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper fucking nails it too on that.
Yeah, I mean that's just beautifully done.
I'll have
You,
to look that up.
I would never have thought Bradley Cooper could sing until I heard that, and I'm like, holy shit. Now, I knew Lady Gaga had some pipes because she's one of those ones like Cyndi Lauper,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll
where
agree with you there.
you see what they're doing, and you're like, I don't think this is really going to be my thing. And then you hear them do True Colors or Time After Time, and you're like, holy shit, I judged you off of Shebop.
Well,
you know what I mean. You know,
there,
it's
there, there's two other Cyndi Lauper songs that I would highly recommend. Number one is her cover of "I Drove All Night." It's very good, and "All Through the Night" is one of those sweet, sappy ballads, but it's very well done.
Yep, very much. I still remember the video from MTV back in the day when I actually would sit and watch television.
It was worth watching back then because there was some damn good music back in
Oh
those days.
Lord.
yeah.
Yeah. And even when the music wasn't top tier, the videos more than made up for it. Sometimes in the imagination displayed in the production. Um,
I actually remember the first time I saw MTV was I was visiting my aunt in Kansas City, who Friday had a birthday, incidentally. Happy belated birthday, although I did wish her one and on Facebook and text message and by calling her. So I got that took care of. But one of the first videos I remember watching when I was very young was Gypsy by Fleetwood Mac.
hmm,
That was a very well done video.
I believe
It was either that one or You Better Run by Pat Benatar.
the first time I ever saw MTV was about the third video they ever played because I arrived at my friend's house about 12, maybe 14 minutes too late to see Video Killed the Radio Star introduce MTV
Yeah.
for the first time ever.
Now, a cool thing was I got to see other videos, and it wasn't too long after that that cable was finally provided in our area, and I got to
Mm-hmm.
watch a lot of it. And another video that I remember from that time was Fleetwood Mac's "Hold Me,"
Mm-hmm. Now I've got
which
to say, by the late 80s, 90s, I was really tired of the rerun circus
oh yeah,
that MTV became. But they would constantly surprise me with something I had never seen before.
from
Um,
81 to 88 was the heyday.
I
Especially you get along around 85 when they started doing world premiere videos, and then they did, the latest releases on the hour, every hour on top of the hour.
I actually can credit them with having me take Adamant seriously. Now, before that, I'd only known Adamant from a poster on somebody's wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, okay. Theatrical, okay.
Yep.
Um,
And
I
stylish
don't
to a
know.
certain extent.
Well, yeah, but this was just a still photograph, just a
Mm-hmm.
poster. And then I started seeing the music videos, and I'm going, I like that. I
Well,
really
having
like
Carol
that.
Monroe is a big boost
Oh yeah. Um,
because she was awesome in Goody Two Shoes.
hmm
Because she starts off real straight laced, then she starts taking down her hair.
Actually, what was going through my head right there was, "Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do?"
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Um,
And subtle innuendo follows. Must be something to get inside.
there's a remake, a re-release of Room at the Top,
Mm-hmm.
where a much more mature Adam is performing, and he's got that microphone with the hemispherical base on it,
Mm-hmm.
and he is treating that like a Muppet, basically. He just waves his hands, and the microphone does this little dance right along with
Yeah.
his dance while he's singing the song.
Yeah.
And now the original video was really neat, but that one, I'm going, if I had that kind of stage presence, that kind of mastery of the moment, oh, I'd be a household name.
Yeah, there's a reason why front men are usually front men. Um, the cool thing was back in the day, Dan, is you had so many options for watching music videos.
This is true.
Showtime used to have these things called Take Five where they would do
Hmm.
videos.
Yeah.
And as long as the Pretenders Back on the Chain game was not playing, I was happy.
You also
Don't get me
had
wrong.
Friday night videos back at the time.
Yeah,
Um,
you had night tracks on TBS. Uh,
and channel 50 in our area, which eventually became UPN in our area. But before
mhm,
then, it was just kind of like our little random thing. Usually, they played videos from about an hour before I got home from school till
mhm.
about like 8 o'clock at night.
Well, we used to have a CBS affiliate, which is now a Fox affiliate in Atlanta, WAGA TV, that used to have videos played that was hosted by DJ from Atlanta who was Australian, Craig Ashwood. And they used to show stuff late at
That's
night.
not a video. This is a video.
And he was actually a little more laid back than that, but he the cool thing is you get to see all these varieties. Now Dan was probably too busy out partying with people and going to concerts at that time, but I remember it because I was still a wee lad.
I don't know about going to concerts, but going to bars. I mean, it was Athens. I mean, seriously, I got to see a lot of stuff that would
Well,
later become MTV standards.
well, I'm sure you got to see REM when they were first hitting it big. The B-52s, right as they were starting to catch on.
Love Tractor,
Blue Shack,
Pylon,
Rock
uh,
Lobster.
yeah. Um, there were a lot of bands that you just kind of you didn't know who they were. You showed up at a party, you had a great time, and then you found out what the name of the band was that was playing in the backyard that people could hear for miles away. Um,
And
or you,
another,
I guess
um,
Everclear is playing at one of our local parks for free next Saturday.
oh, cool. I remember getting to see, oh, aren't they the ones that sing Santa Monica?
got me there.
Because I believe they were at Riverbend before, and I got to see them on there. Didn't they sing Father of Mine too?
Theory of
I
a
am.
Dead Man looks like Santa Monica.
No, Theory of
Uh,
Dead.
there's another one that says Santa Monica. That is an Everclear song, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
then
who. Yeah, I did get to see them.
what was the other one you said?
AM Radio, I think, and Father of Mine. I
Uh,
think their other big hits.
yeah, AM Radio was Everclear, and then you said Father of Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brain still works, Dan.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I got to see a lot of folks that I
Damn it.
probably should feel even more privileged than I do. Um,
Oh man, I got to see so many acts at Riverbend before they destroyed it.
uh,
As in the owners tore it down, or as in a band literally destroyed it.
As in a number of factors. Number one, they gave up control to the Bonnaroo Music Festival in
which
Manchester,
destroyed
Tennessee.
everything.
Yep. And they moved the dates of Riverbend to Memorial Day weekend, which is a restricted week in a number of places because they can only allow so many people off work.
Yes.
And they reduced the number of stages, reduced the number of acts, increased the prices, and basically did everything they could to ruin it.
And succeeded.
Yeah. Now, back in the good old days, for 30 years, it was a 10-day music festival. It started on one Friday. It went through that weekend, all through the week, and ended on Saturday night the following weekend. Now, you would have up-and-coming artists. You would have artists in their prime. You would have artists that were just a little past their prime, and you had some that were almost fading. And you got to see all variety of it, and they had little kids that were anywhere from like 7 to 8 years old to preteens that were, some of them had the potential to go on and actually get
Mhm.
recording contracts. I got to see Grace Potter before she became big. I got to see Little River Band before, not Little River, but Little Big Town before they became big. Because Keith Urban brought them along with him when he was on the main stage. The main stage, the Coca-Cola stage, was actually on a barge on the Tennessee River at Ross's Landing. You had a hill where you had people that could sit and watch, and you had this big green space right in front of some condominiums where you could set up chairs and towels and all that and watch them from that. And they would shut down the main street there, and you had anywhere At one point in time, there were 6 stages, but I think they eventually reduced it to 5.
Mm.
And
I'm
yeah,
trying to remember what the first actual concert that I got to see. And
well, I don't
I
discuss
believe
that one. Not
I
because it wasn't a great show, but because that's usually one of those questions they ask for password protection.
Oh, well, yeah, but I won't use that for an answer. Um,
Yeah, I will talk about it in person to you, but not anything that is broadcast or recorded.
Now, um, in 1975,
Mhm.
Six Flags Over Georgia
Mhm.
hosted a senior night for the people that were graduating from local high schools and gave us the chance to vote for who their musical guest was going to be.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember who I voted for or nominated, but when I got there, it was Chuck Berry.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
All right, guys.
And
Not that this conversation isn't stimulating. Like Joe, I've been awake way too long today, and I am yawning and I am fading fast. So before I pull a Dan, and since we don't have Don or Donna to try to whisper, sweet nothings in my ear to try to wake me up, I'm going to go ahead and hit the hay. So,
don't worry
I
about it.
totally
Don't worry
understand.
about it. I
Appreciate you joining
am.
in.
I'm not going to be long after you. I think I'm going to have to close the show early because I've been awake for a long time today. I wasn't supposed to be, but I was.
Yeah, it does
So,
happen.
but
uh,
I love you, my brothers. I hope you have a spectacular rest of your weekend. For anyone viewing, have a spectacular time this weekend, what's left of it, and catch y'all later.
Yeah.
all right. Good night, Richie.
Good
Thank
night.
you for being
Good
here.
night.
Thanks for having me. Bye bye.
Until next time. But I got to see Dr. Hook, Dan.
Oh, I am jealous.
I got to see Firefall. I got to see Ambrosia, minus David Pack. I got to see Little River Band. I got to see Alan Parsons Project.
Ooh.
And, well, he called it Alan Parsons Live Project. And there were people complaining, why wasn't he on the big stage? I got to see The Temptations while they still had one original member left.
Oh.
I got to see Martina McBride. Good Lord, that girl seemed to be so tiny. I got to see Susie Boggess on a smaller stage. I got to see Colin Hay from Men at Work.
Oh. That
I
must have
got
been
to,
great.
yeah, I got to see the Little River Band.
That's the third time you mentioned them. They're very important to you.
Well, I meant to say Little Big Town, and I said them, and then I corrected it, and then I said it again. But yeah, they were definitely a favorite of mine growing up, and I got to see Kenny Rogers. I got to see Leonard Skinner twice. I got to see oh shit, Molly Hatchet. I got to see
Oh.
Grand Funk Railroad.
Oh,
Although
wow.
it was without Mark Farner.
Uh,
And I
still.
got yeah, although I did get to see Mark Farner in another concert, but that's a story for another time.
Mhm.
I got to see Well, I got to hear a little bit of Kenny Lewis in the news. I had to leave early that night, and I heard it wasn't a very good show because he was kind of drunk and sweating, and then he rambled on. But
Sort of like tonight. Oh yeah.
but I got to see so many acts that I never would have got to see otherwise, and that was
Yeah,
just
yeah. I had a lot of opportunities to see folks perform in Athens because it was a happening place for the music scene
yeah.
in the '70s onwards,
Well,
and I really did. There's more folks that I got to see than I can actually remember right now, but you know,
and the cool thing about Georgia State, where I went to school, is their college radio station was 100,000 watts, and it was completely student run.
yeah, we had that at University of Georgia, and it was okay until one April Fool's Day. The DJs locked the door to the studio and decided that it would be great fun to play Autobahn on infinite loop for 20 hours.
Well, Dan, did you ever get to see the movie PCU?
No, no, certainly
Uh,
haven't.
PCU was Politically Correct University.
Ah,
It was a funny movie. It had a young John Favreau who had an afro, and he was chosen to pick a house band for the party that his fraternity was doing, which this other fraternity of preppies, led by a very sarcastic and condescending David Spade,
yeah.
was doing their best to get that
Make up for having
fraternity.
David Spade on stage. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
was doing their best to get said fraternity banned, and the said fraternity was led by David Piven. The funny thing is that Favreau's character was kind of a, I hate saying this, but kind of a loser stereotype.
yeah.
Well, due to a malfunction from GPS and all that, this band was lost for their gig.
Oh dear.
The band happened to be Parliament Funkadelic.
Good Lord.
So he found
I
the band.
I did not get to see Parliament. I did not get to see
I did
Mother's
get to see them
Finest,
at
even
Riverbend.
though they
Both.
played at the same club. I just never went to that club. So I missed out on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
got to see both of them at Riverbend at various points in time. And the hilarious thing was, Dan, the fraternity managed to lock David Spade's character and the campus administrators in a room, but they didn't just do that. They had Afternoon Delight on repeat on the CD player.
oh.
That movie is
Ah,
so much fun, Dan. You would get a
oh
kick
Lord.
out of it.
Yes, I'm sure I would. Um, all right. Um,
I know you ready to
we've
go to
only
bed.
gone Hour 20. I don't know what happened to my capacity to stay up late, but it has definitely bit the big one this week.
Hey, that's
So
fine, man. I was just trying to help you out because I knew you were
I'm
minus Sedona.
yeah. Well, I thank you for being here. I thank you for bringing up musical memories that I hadn't thought of in years, and mentioning stuff that I do need to go and check out. But I'm about to turn into a pumpkin on camera, so let's just
Don't.
let's just say goodnight, everybody, and I'll play
Yeah.
the bedtime story.
Good night
and
and go good, guys.
Carl can go to his scavenger hunt at the grocery store a good 45 minutes before he normally would. So
Yep. Good night. Hope you get some good sleep and go good, guys.
oh yeah, go good guys, and yes, I will get some good sleep, whether I do it in a chair or actually manage to stagger my way to the bedroom. As far as our viewing audience is concerned, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for coming back week after week. You can always like, share, and subscribe if that floats your boat. Subscribing is fun because I get to see there are more regular viewers. But other than that, not aiming towards being what's the word? Getting paid for this stuff, getting monetized by YouTube. They would know better than to give any channel with my name on it money. So good money after bad. Now,
Cute bedtime story.
yes. Before I nod off and I'm not able to hit the button. So to quote a very famous actor in a very fun movie, hit the button, Max.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.